we're going to experiment a little bit with the e-foam inside the Cameo. Now, this machine has a continuous milk steaming function where the milk will enter the machine, aerate, steam, and then be dispensed out of the steam arm. So instead of filling up a milk pitcher and then putting it on, we skip that step and just go straight into producing milk and filling up the pitcher. Now, with this process, we have the ability to adjust the amount of air that's going into that milk as it passes through the system. So I'm going to make 3 different milk beverages, and we'll be able to see the difference between those different levels of aeration. So we'll start off with milk that's been steamed with 90% air. Now, this is what I would normally use for something like a cappuccino. It's going to be very foamy, very thick, but not so bubbly that we end up with this really gross drink like you would find at some roadhouse cafe. Now, in between pouring these drinks, I'm going to be filling up the next pitcher because we have the ability to make milk drinks really quickly with this machine, so why not use it? So I'll pour the first coffee. As you can see, it's quite thick, quite creamy milk. I'll rinse my pitcher, and by the time that I've finished steaming this pouring this first drink, the second one is ready to put into my milk pitcher. We can wipe the steam arm if we wish, and then fill up with the next milk. So this second jug of milk is steamed to 70% air. Now this is, for this particular milk here in the Netherlands, this is what I would normally use for latte art, lattes, and general milky drinks. It allows for some really nice contrast between the crema and the milk. And then this last pitcher that I've steamed here is at 50% aeration. Now this is closer to what you would use for a flat white or something along those lines. So I'll pour that into my little pitcher as well. Now this milk is much thinner, so the crema is going to be moving around a lot more, which means we can produce patterns with a little bit more definition. So now we can actually zoom in and have a look at the depth of foam in each of these drinks and how it changes between those different settings. This first drink had the foam at 90%. As you can see, it's quite a thick, quite a well-structured foam that can form a peak if we like, kind of marshmallowy. Now let's move over to this next beverage. This is the one where we use the 70% foam. You can see it's a little bit thinner, but the foam itself is still quite smooth. And then lastly, over here with 50% aeration, quite thin, but the quality of the foam isn't diminished. We're still able to produce something that's quite smooth and creamy. And if we like, we could continue to go down to 0%, which would be just milk, and it would be impossible to create latte art, but still just as delicious.